Hello, welcome to Yin Yoga. So today's class, we are going to build up to Malasana, which is a squat pose. So if you know that you cannot squat very deep, I recommend having a block or two here. I'll do some modifications for those of you that need support. You can also, when we get to that part, come to a wall and do a wall squat. Ultimately, your hips and knees will be your guide as to how deep you go. And it's okay if you can't come very deep in your squat. It takes time to build that up, and you always want to listen to your joints. They are one of your best teachers. So that being said, let's get into it and start to prepare for that. So sitting up nice and tall, zipping up from pubic bone to behind the navel, long spine from crown to tail. We'll take a slight tuck in the chin. And we'll start to come into our practice here. Good. So just begin by taking some deep breaths, some centering breaths, and notice as you're here, is there anywhere in the body that you could soften just a little bit more? So maybe through the shoulders, the hips. I have a tendency to grip my hips when I sit a lot, so I always have to kind of relax a little bit through there. Relaxing through the face. As you start to inhale through the nose, find that expansion in the rib cage. Hold for a moment. Slowly release. Inhale, expand nice and slow. Holding at the top. Slowly release. Let's do that one more time. Sitting up nice and tall. Big inhale and expand. And slowly release. Fingertips to the side, palms turning up. Inhale, reach, 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 and lengthen, touching palms together. Exhale, hands in heart center. Creating an intention for your practice. What would you like to give receive? So the theme that I've chosen a little bit here, because we are getting into the hips today, is letting go. So we tend to hold on a lot emotionally and physically to different things in our hips. And we'll get a little bit into the shoulders as well. So from here, once you have that set, we'll inhale, take it back up, turning palms away, grow taller from crown to tail. Good. Let's take a big inhale and reach. Exhale, side bend to the left. And moving through center, go right over and to the right. And one more time, taking it to the left and to the right. Good. From here, we're going to grab our strap. So I'm going to take my strap between the pointer and thumb. And if you've got, a plastic thing here or metal hooks or what have you, and just take that hand on that side and just kind of push it to the end. So when we move, that's not going to hit you in the face and be uncomfortable. So we're going to take a wide grip, big inhale and reach. Now again, take it over to the left. Let this bottom hand just kind of hang down here. Breathe and expand. Inhale, exhale, coming back. Inhale, exhale, taking it over. Breathing, just letting that bottom hand hang down. Both hips stay grounded. Inhale, exhale, taking that back up. Good. From here, let's take this into rotation, relaxing the shoulders. We're nice and tall. Good. We're going to rotate to the left. And coming back center, rotating to the right. Moving through center, take that back to the left. This time when you come to the left, reach those arms down, rolling shoulders back, maybe taking the chest forward just a little bit more. Looking up. Now keeping everything where it is, but tucking that chin. Now look a little bit more behind you. Inhale and lift. Exhale, coming center. Inhale, exhale, rotating out to the right, taking those arms down, rolling shoulders back. Maybe chest comes forward a little bit. Look up. Good. Now tucking that chin, keeping everything else the same, looking a little bit more behind you. And lifting up, coming back to center. Good. So from here, we're going to move forward and back. So go to your range of motion. Keep the belly button nice and tight. So you don't want to, kind of flop around like a fish here. And as you get more open, you can lengthen those arms and come back a little bit more. So if your goal is to come back here behind, you don't want to do that with bent arms. So take a wider grip on that strap if you need to. Good. And then when you're ready, good, just find your sweet spot, your spot of maximum stretch, and hold there for a moment. Good. Taking it up and release. We'll put this to the side. We'll come back to this towards the end. We're going to come onto all fours now for some cat-cow and prepare for a little bit of a dangle. So if you need to bring in some knee cushion here, do so. Otherwise, coming to all fours, spreading the fingers wide, knees under the hips. Just take a big inhale, shining the heart forward, tipping the pelvis back. And exhale and around. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Now from here, we're going to come into the dangle for a couple minutes. Now I'm going to bring blocks in here. Not all of you will need these, but some of you might. So you can use the blocks to help you kind of come up a little bit as you roll back, just kind of coming up like this, walking up. You can use them to put hands on if you can't touch the floor and dangle. So find what you need here. Good. And we're going to come back now in the way that's best for you. Good. Find your little dangle here. So I'm coming up. My feet are about hip width apart. They can be a little bit wider if you need to. Hands can be on blocks or the floor. Good. And as you're here, maybe even taking elbows a little bit. We're just going to be here for a couple minutes. And I'm just breathing in. Let the knees bend a little bit here. Let the head and neck be free. Just getting a little traction down the spine. What could you think of to let go of? So there's this nice little imagery. It's different pictures, but it's the same scene. I see it on Facebook and Instagram all the time about now that we're into fall, the leaves are about to show us how beautiful it is to let things go. So they turn a beautiful color and then they let go of the branch they're on and fall. Because in a few months, they show us the beauty of new life, new creation. So what could you let go of, and how beautiful maybe could that be if you let go of it? And then from here, when you're ready, good. Taking hands to your blocks or to the floor. Let's lift just a little bit here, just kind of lengthen out of there for a moment. Nice long spine. And then from here, we're going to make our way back to the floor. So I'm just going to let my knees bend here. I'm going to walk my blocks a little bit more forward. Now, however you need to get there, which might not be the way you saw me get there, that works for your body is the way that I recommend. I'm going to put these blocks to the side here. Good. And we're going to come belly down. So from here, you've got some options. This is 2 minutes. We're going to come to Sphinx or Seal. So Sphinx, remember, the forearms are down, elbows are under the shoulders, are slightly forward. You're lengthening and you're coming up, shining the heart forward. Seal, you're taking your hands a little forward into the side of the shoulders, and maybe you lift a little higher than that. Maybe you lift really high. What we don't want is this, and we don't want this. Okay, so if you're coming up here, you want to be able to be supported. Now my back's a little cranky today because it's cold outside here in Kentucky. So I'm going to do this a little bit more gentle with Sphinx. But whenever you're ready, come to yours, Sphinx or Seal. Belly button is in no matter what you choose. Legs are hip width apart no matter what you choose. You're pressing that floor away from you no matter what you choose. And we're not crunching our spine, no matter what we choose. This is a personal story. Sometimes letting go is just not reading or getting hung up on silly social media comments. So for example, those of you that know me, I am a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I love those movies. I think they're some of the greatest movies ever. But I also really like the new Rings of Power series on Amazon. So Tolkien purists don't like that because it's kind of loosely based, but it doesn't really follow timelines. But I kind of really like it. And so it kind of, I let it get to me, ticked me off, all of these people, ripping it, to shreds or whatever. And I'm like, well, can't you just put that, some of that stuff aside and just enjoy it for a nice little fantasy story? So letting go of comments that really don't matter sometimes, but have a tendency to aggravate us and whatnot. So just a, maybe a less serious thing, less emotional thing of letting go, but that's something to let go of. If it consumes your thoughts in a more negative manner for no real reason, it's probably not good. Good. And then from here, we'll carefully come down out of there. Good. Make a recovery pillow with your hands. Give your hips a little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Breathe here. Now I'm going to give you an option. So you can stay here just like this for 1 minute, or you can take your hands under your shoulders and press back into a child's pose of your choice for 1 minute. So find yours, and we're going to be here for 1 minute. Breathe. Good. And then from here, hands under the shoulders, carefully coming up. Good. We're going to go start to open the hips up just a little bit more here. And we'll get into the shoulders a little bit as well. So I'm going to bring my blanket in here to sit back on. And we'll go into a Janu. So from here, I'm going to take my left leg forward. Good, and I've got that foot in flexion. Now again, we've got different props today available to us if you've got them. So something, if you want to go deeper a little bit in some aspects without going too deep too soon, remember you can always bring a block in here. If you want to take it a little bit deeper, but you're not someone who reaches this foot, you can bring your strap in here, okay? Remember, we want to ease into this. We'll do this one for 3 minutes. Good. I'm going to bring my right foot in here. Good. I'm sitting up nice and tall. I've got a little bit of an anterior tilt in the pelvis, meaning tailbones back, hip bones are a little bit forward. Big inhale and reach. Exhale, hinge forward, long spine. And then from there, good, you can fold in. So remember, we don't want to come to our maximum off the bat here. Breathing into that back body, expanding the rib cage. A little softness in that left knee. Good. Now, as you breathe on your exhale, notice if the body wants to sink deeper. And as long as that's safe for you, you can do so. If not, don't let your body go deeper. And if you're holding on to a block or a strap, you've brought that in, or even the foot, remember, always light grip, never a death grip. And then when you're ready, carefully, gently come out of there. Great. We're going to take this into a twist and an eagle. So you can bring your right foot up here. You can leave it here, or you can cross it over. Choose where you want here. Now, I've got my right leg over. I'm going to cross my right arm on top of my left. Some of you might need to just hug. Some of you can rotate here, and we're just going to do this one for a couple minutes. Good. And we're going to rotate towards the right. So whenever you're ready, arms out, right arm on top, rotate to the right. And you still want to relax through the shoulders here, breathing and expanding. And again, don't come to your full capacity twist. And even if you're twisted here in eagle, don't kind of press into each other yet. Just kind of be really gentle. Be gentle. Maybe letting go of the need to always take something to extremes. It's okay to have, deeper things as a goal, your destination, but remember the journey towards that goal or destination is just as important as the end goal and destination. Now remember, we still want to be growing tall here from crown to tail. Finding expansive breaths. Okay. And then when you're ready, carefully come back, release, undo the leg, shake something out. We're going to take that all to the other side. So from here, my right leg is going to be long. I'm going to bring my left foot in. I'm going to recheck my pelvis here, anterior tilt. From here, when you're ready, we went this one 3 minutes. Big inhale and reach. Exhale, take that forward. Good long spine, and then fold in right before your edge. So remember, as the body's ready to let go into something deeper, if that's safe for you, you can. Remember, whatever you're using, if you're using any props, light grips, no death grips. So from here, carefully come out of there. And we're going to take this into the twisties now. So we're going to bring the left foot up. You can keep it here. You can cross it over. Good. Arms out, left arm on top of the right. You can hug yourself or wrap. Gentle, gentle. Lengthen and lift as you rotate towards the left. Relaxing the shoulders. We're still breathing and expanding. So here's a hard one of letting go, the need or the feeling that you have to be busy and running around all the time. It's kind of like Ferris Bueller. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and take a look once in a while, you can miss it. Still tall spine from crown to tail. Good. Carefully releasing out of there and relaxing here. Okay. Last one before we come into Malasana. Let's take the legs out to the side. Good. Again, I'm still sitting on my folded blanket here and I'm still in my anterior tilt. Hips, knees, and toes are turned out away from the body. We're going to take this one for 3 minutes as well. So from here, prop up underneath your knees here if you need to do that. Flexion in the toes. Remember, hips, knees, and toes. We're going to track towards the ceiling. Big inhale and reach. Exhale, long spine, hinging from the hips. When you can go no more, right before your edge, bring your arms down and breathe. So keep it gentle for here, and then as you settle in, and if the body wants to fall deeper, and if that's safe, you can do so. And if the body wants to fall deeper, but you're like, no, there's no way that my chest is going to come to the floor, prop yourself up with something. You've got folded blankets that you can put here. You've got blocks, maybe bolster or cushion or pillow. So I just caught myself. So maybe letting go of any tension that just popped up in your shoulders. Mine were getting a little creepy by the ear. So can you let go of that? Good. And then from here, when you're ready, carefully, carefully come up out of there. Take your peace finger behind the knees and take that in and just let the knees bend just a little bit right here. So we're just kind of resting here. So we're going to prepare to come up into that Malasana squat. So remember, those of you that don't have that Malasana squat or can't go very deep, you want to make sure that you have the appropriate support that you need to do that. So I'm going to show you a few ways to do this with a single block and 2 blocks. You can also do this, up against a wall or a sturdy piece of furniture like a couch, something that's not going to move if you lean up against it. You can also just do it standing if you're kind of not close to anything. So let's practice getting in there. So I'm just going to come over here. Good. Now, different things for different people. So I'm going to kind of come into this a little bit here from the side, just so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to use my blocks again to kind of come back here. I'm going to take my feet out wider, hips, knees, and toes turn out away from the body. Now you want your heels to be grounded here, so we don't want to be stuck up here. So if you can't get out of that, take a blanket or something and put up under here so your heels have support. Okay, very important. So option 1, you can be here. You can be here. That's the one that I personally enjoy. Okay, you can be up here. Maybe you still need to be higher. Maybe you need 2 blocks stacked on each other being here. Maybe 2 blocks stacked this way, 1 block this way, 1 block this way. And maybe that's your squat. You want your tailbone to sit down on there. Maybe that's your squat coming up here. Maybe none of that is good for you and you need to be at the wall coming down here with some back support. Or if you're out in the middle of the room, just take this too, just be right here, okay? Nothing wrong with that. So find what you need. I think I'm actually gonna be right here today. Okay. And find your squat. Set yourself up for success. We'll try for 3 minutes. And this one can be a really tough one. So if you need to come out before, then do that. Good. So remember, feet, heels on the floor. We're zipping up from pubic bone to behind the navel. Hips, knees, and toes are turned out. They're tracking in the same direction. And those of you that are not on props, or maybe you're on 1 block than what I have here, some people like to press into the inner thighs a little bit with the elbows. That's fine, as long as there's no pain or anything associated with that, but always zip up. So this is also working the core, working the pelvic floor muscles, zip up. It's also a little strength building. And for some of us, can also be a little bit of a balance challenge as well. Now going back to letting go, if this is not your jam, if this is not something that you can hold very long, let go of that. That's okay. Practice makes progress. If we don't practice, we can't improve. And some of us have bodies that are made differently than others. And, some things we can do well, other things we can't. And that's all okay. If we all looked the same, it'd be a pretty boring world. So I can do Malasana with my heels down, but it took me a while to do that. And some days like today, my body doesn't want me to do that. So I do what my body wants me to do. I let it be my guide. Let go of the need of perfection. Accept where you are in the moment. Remember, I often say the mark of an advanced yogi is not how well you do a pose, how you can twist yourself or be upside down or what have you. It's honoring where you are in the moment. Can you let go of that and honor where you are in the moment? From here, this is going to be easiest for those of you that are standing. So if you're standing, bring your legs back in and just kind of do another dangle, forward fold. Those of us that are closer to the ground, could you take the hands to the floor, press through the heels and the glutes, and come to a little bit of a dangle here? It's kind of coming out of there for a moment. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, in the way that's best for your body, carefully come back down onto the mat. We're going to come onto our backs. We're going to start to do our supine things. I'm just going to move some props out of the way here. So before you lay down, grab your strap. We'll come to that in a moment. And have any props handy that you know that you would like to have for Shavasana when we get there. So I'm going to just kind of bring this down here. Okay. From here, when you come down there, just bring the knees into the chest, nice and gentle, rolling the shoulders back, and just sway a little bit from side to side. If for no other reason, it just feels good to most people. So we did an eagle arm twist earlier in practice. We're going to take an eagle leg twist here in practice. And just make sure we don't do that for too long. Okay. I'm going to start by pressing both feet into my mat. I'm going to lift my hips. I'm going to shift my hips over to my right. I'm going to cross my right leg over my left. Arms are out to the side. And then I'm going to twist to my left. And I'm going to breathe and expand here. And if this crossover doesn't work for you, no worries. Just undo and be in a more traditional supine twist. Some days my body doesn't really like the eagle leg twist either. So do what you can. Don't worry about what you can't. Good. Head will come back to center. You can take the legs together back to center. If you need to separate them first to get there safely, you can do that. We'll undo the legs, pressing the feet into the floor, taking hips back to the center. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle side to side here. And when you're ready, we're going to take that to the other side. So from here, pressing both feet into the floor, lifting up the hips, shifting the hips to the left, crossing left leg over the right leg, letting those legs fall to the right, maybe looking to the left, and we'll be right here. So kind of tagging on the letting go of the need to be perfect. How could you apply that in another area? Sometimes it's okay to be bad. And I'm not saying, it's okay to just suddenly be nasty to people, but maybe have, a piece of chocolate if you don't typically eat candy. If you don't normally drink wine, have a glass of wine every now and then and see what happens. Maybe just choose not to read an email for 24 hours, or quote unquote accidentally delete one. Call in sick, even though you may not be sick, and take a day off. Sometimes it's okay to be bad. It's okay to not be perfect. And then from here, when you're ready, carefully make your way back in the way that's best for you, back to center, undoing the legs, pressing into the feet, lifting the hips, knees into the chest, and we'll but rock side to side. All right. So from here, I'm going to grab my strap. We'll kind of try to settle some things down a little bit here. And I'm going to move out a little bit away from my wall. So let's start right foot into that strap. And then just take a strap in each hand and just kind of take some circles here. So in a sense, you can say I'm letting go of doing what I quote unquote should be doing as a Yin Yoga instructor. What we're doing right now with the leg is not Yin Yoga, but it feels good. Now take that in the opposite direction. Okay. Now from here, choke up on that strap. Let that leg come in closer to the face, keeping a little micro bend in the knee. So we don't want any pain, numbness, or tingling or burning coming up from down here. And release. Both straps into that left hand. Left leg can come long here. Find your sweet spot as you arc that leg over. Good. And you can have a long leg or a bend in the knee. We're not coming all the way over into the twist just yet. Just find that nice little stretch. IT band stretch on the outside of that outer thigh. Good. And then we'll release that foot from the strap, bending that knee. Now take it over into a twist again, maybe looking to the right. And when you're ready, coming back to center. We'll take that to the other side. So taking the left foot into the strap now. Good. And again, a strap in each hand. Just take some little circles here. And maybe other direction. And then from here, we'll choke up on that strap for a hamstring stretch, bringing that leg in, micro bend in the knee. No pain, numbness, tingling, or burning here. And release. Extending the right leg long, both straps into the right hand with the long leg or a bend knee. Maybe just kind of move around a little bit. Find your sweet spot. We're just at the arc for right now. Finding that nice IT band stretch. And when you're ready, we'll come back up. Good, removing that foot from the strap, putting a bend in that knee, taking that over to the right. A little bit of a bendy knee stretch and twist. And when you're ready, we'll come back in, knees back into the chest, rock, rock, side to side. We're gonna come into our Shavasana from here. And we're just gonna kind of move a little bit back more towards the center of my space. I'm gonna bring my bolster in here. Good. And then maybe a little bit of a pillow. Good. And it's a little bit chilly in here. It's cold here today, this morning in Kentucky. I'm just gonna take this little blanket over top of me here for a while. Good. So once you get where you're going, see if you can make yourself about 10% more comfortable, and we're going to be here for a few moments. So breathe and expand, sink in, let go into your space. Taking some deep breaths here. Choose stillness or gently take head and neck from side to side. Choose stillness or invite movement of the fingers and the toes. Choosing stillness or bringing knees into the chest. Choosing to keep the upper body grounded or maybe lifted into a full body hug. And choosing stillness, removing any of the props that you may have used for your Shavasana time out of the way. Lengthening the legs long in front of you, arms long behind you, and reach and lengthen from the edge of the fingertips, the edge of the toes. Full body stretch, point and flex through the feet. Bend and stretch through the hands, twirling wrists and ankles in one direction, and then in the other. And then from here, whenever you're ready, carefully bending in both knees, and you choose rolling over to your right or left side. Staying there as long as you want to, coming to a seat when you're ready. And once you're ready, finding that tall seat, noticing how you feel. Fingertips to the side, palms turning up. Inhale, reach, 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 and lengthen. Touching palms together. Exhale, hands and hearts. Reconnecting with that intention you made for yourself or letting go. One more time. And we'll take thumbs to the forehead for good and true thoughts. To our lips for good and kind words. And to our hearts for open and loving hearts. Knowing no effort on this mat is ever wasted. No gain is ever reversed. May you be safe. May you stay well. May you have a wonderful day, evening, week ahead. Namaste.